A monster movie for the ages. To my right, Earth's protector and nerdy big spender, once believed to be only a myth, the true titan of terror, Jesse Botello. To my left, escaping from the depths of hell, a monster so horrendous, you'd rather watch the last season of Scrubs than be in his presence, Kristopher James.
Oh, I thought it was going to be you. I don't know why.
And to my front, a cyborg that's more machine than man now, risen from the brink of death in a mad scientist lab, hell-bent on trying every cider beer, Nick, the MiniFridge Savana.
Hi, guys.
And I, an alien outcast sent to Earth with one mission, play every Assassin's Creed game. Welcome to the Digital Bath Podcast.
Even Unity?
Love it.
Thank you.
Oh, he played Unity.
Jesse played Unity.
I hate it. I cried.
We got like one multiplayer mission into Unity before we were like, oh, this game broken.
It was not Unity. It was bad.
Well, guys, welcome to the Digital Bath Podcast, where four friends sit around a table talking about all things nerdy and drinking beer. Let's do that now.
Clink. They all have cans.
All right.
I'm the only one with a bottle, so.
Only one with the bottle. We've got some fun stuff for you guys today. It is Kaiju, a month known sacred to Jesse and his clan. So our entire episode's dedicated to monster movies and all things Japanese monster movie related.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we will have a really fun segment with Jesse, Chris, and myself. I almost introduced me before you. I'm so sorry. That's so rude. Where we each have a monster that we will use. The three of us will argue, and in that chaos, Nick will be listening, asking questions along the way, and deciding who would win in a three-way fight between our monsters. Let's start with some news. What we got, boys?
The news, huh? All right. If you have been keeping track of when your movie theaters will be reopening, then you may have seen that a number of AMCs are slated to be reopening their doors starting July 15th. It was reported on last week that they would not be requiring their guests to wear masks. However, the CEO of AMC stated that he did not want to create political controversy. But after a large outcry from their guests, they have since changed their minds on the subject. AMC CEO said, "The announcement of not requiring masks prompted an intense and immediate outcry from our customers, and it is clear from their response that we did not go far enough on the usage of masks." Saying that, I think they made the right decision with going with masks. I mean, especially in some of those bigger theaters. I mean, they haven't said if they're going to do the social distancing thing yet or not, like one person every other seat or something, or how's that going to work?
Too close, wouldn't it be? It'd be like every other row.
We'll see. I don't know if many places actually have a legit plan until it happens.
Yeah.
It seems really dicey for a lot of companies right now.
It really does. But, I mean, at least they're making them wear masks because that's a close proximity to everyone else. So at least that's something. Also, recently, the EA Play event kicked off with some exciting news on Apex Legends. Starting this fall, it will be releasing onto the Nintendo Switch and Steam. Along with the game heading over to Nintendo, it will also unlock cross-platform gameplay between all consoles and PC. Not only do we have that to look forward to, but starting June 23rd, Respawn will be releasing the Lost Treasures event. It will be a fresh take on a previous limited time mode. The new mode will be called Armed and Dangerous Evolved, and will force players to only have access to shotguns and snipers. To top that all off, there will also be no respawn beacons. Instead, each player will have a mobile beacon in their inventory where they will be able to pick and choose when and where they want to respawn their dead teammates, which is pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about just shotguns and snipers. It might bring a cool little, difference to the game. Forces everyone to kind of be on equal playing field, I think, no matter what. Unless one of your shotguns is the Mozambique and somebody else has a Mastiff, so that might make a big difference.
I have an announcement.
Yeah.
I'm starting to warm up to that weapon.
The Mozambique?
Mm-hmm.
Just as like a troll weapon?
You must have gotten some kills with it recently.
I've been playing a lot of the game.
We know that, Jesse. At least I know that.
I just don't want to shoot myself now anymore when I pick it up. So
okay.
No.
Yeah. You can shoot yourself with it?
There should be a button for that, honestly. Sorry.
Yeah. That weapon is trash. And then finally, for you wrestling fans out there, today, Sunday, June 21st, marks the last ride for the Dead Man.
No.
WWE's The Undertaker announced his retirement. For the last few weeks, the WWE Network has been airing a behind-the-scenes look at The Undertaker's WWE career called The Last Ride. The final episode aired today, and it included the announcement that the Dead Man is officially retiring from the WWE. His last match, WrestleMania 36, was called a Boneyard match and was very highly rated by a lot of its fans. The Boneyard match ended with Undertaker on top of AJ Styles. So that was a really big match. It was shot kind of like a movie. It wasn't shot in a ring or anything. It took place in like a graveyard. I think it took them like an entire couple days or something like that to actually film that match. I watched it. It was actually pretty cool, but it was one hell of a match to go out on to be his, last and final one, since of course he was well known for his streak at WrestleMania for the longest time.
He's like my last link to me caring in any way, shape, or form about WWE.
I'm more upset about who he lost to.
He lost twice.
Don't bring that up.
You talking about his first loss?
Yeah, who was that to again?
Brock Lesnar.
Well, here's one to the Dead Man.
The Undertaker. Hell yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
All right. Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team has been announced as a tie-in comic set to release early September this year.
What?
Dark Horse Comics is releasing this 4-part series with Colin Bunn, who has written for Uncanny X-Men, and the art done by Miguel Valderrama. Pretty exciting.
That's dope as shit.
It's supposed to come out in a week difference between the game, so I'll be interested to see if they release part 2 and part 3 in case it has something to do with the
actual story of
right.
it, yeah.
I might pick up the singles and then wait to read it until...
Yeah. It's only 4 issues, so it won't take you long. After that, the guitar used by Kurt Cobain in his MTV Unplugged live performance broke a new record. The guitar sold for $6 million, making it the most expensive guitar ever sold. The previous winner was David Glammer of Pink Floyd's. His Black Stratocaster sold at $3.95 million, so that record has definitely been decimated. Cobain's guitar will forever live as a iconic partner to one of Kurt's final televised performances.
That's dumb.
$6 million.
$6 million.
Stupid.
Do you want to know how much his green sweater sold for?
How much?
It's got to be in the several hundred thousand.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Who sold it? It wasn't like Courtney Love, was it?
No, it was an auction, I think, that had music memorabilia.
Guitar for $6 million.
Yeah, it was his last acoustic performance that he was known for.
Yep.
Why's that?
Why was it famous?
Why was it
Do you
his
know
last?
who Kurt Cobain is?
Why was it his last? Is what he's asking.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother
Well, like
conspiracy.
no brain, am I right?
Ow.
Wait, is it too soon?
It's still too soon
Doesn't
because
sound
the
like
person
King
that did it's
Spirit.
not in jail.
Yeah, she's still out there.
His brains
Put
are
a corpse in jail.
His brains are well dry now.
Okay. You think he did that?
No. Courtney Love shot him.
Yep.
I don't think she shot him. I think she hired somebody to have it. I don't think she did it herself.
We need to have like a dark side episode where we talk.
There's a dark side.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Confirmed Pokemon Snap 2. Don't know when it's coming out. Don't care.
Woo! Looks better than Pokemon Sword.
On to you, Chris.
I'm super excited about that Pokemon game.
Actually, I am.
I know. I probably
actually
all are.
No, well, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, but I played the shit out of Pokemon Snap on the N64 back in the day.
Had it come out like 15 years ago, it would have been called Pokemon Snap.
My
So
first
right
bit of news is also Cyberpunk related.
Oh, whoa.
Everybody already probably knows, but if you hadn't heard, Cyberpunk has been delayed again.
Oh, God.
September 17th is the last time they were going to delay it, so they said. Then COVID happened. And now we're looking at November 19th. And this company, CD Projekt Red,
None of y'all can talk
they
today.
do not put out a shit product.
No.
Did they make the first Witcher game?
Look, it was a different time.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
We're now 3 deep in the Witcher games, and they're perfect.
Did they make the Witcher 2 game for Xbox 360?
No.
They actually did not
Oh,
port
okay.
that.
Then
Yeah,
they made one bad game.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't port that.
They
One
probably
limit.
had their name on it, but they didn't build it. Anyway.
No, they built it. They didn't port it.
So the reason for the delay is the game is done. The side quests are done. The
I don't
missions are
believe
done. Everything in the city is done. But a game this massive, no matter how done all the pieces are, when you put them all together, there's still going to be issues. So they are working on fixing bugs and working on making sure that the game plays as smoothly as The Witcher 3.
We're in an abusive relationship right now with this game, and it keeps telling me it's going to change, and I keep waiting.
I will be upset if there's a day one patch for this game because
They
have enough time to not have a day one patch.
Wouldn't that be cool if they shipped like a complete? No, there's going to be a download. Damn it! It'd be just super cool if you just put the disc in there,
and then immediately, without having to worry about it.
I don't know the last time that happened though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's not a thing.
Well, actually, one of the supposed leaks of the release date for the PS5 is November 20th. So if that's the case, it could be that the Series X might be coming around the same time. So instead of buying it for your PS4 or your Xbox One, you could just be buying it day one for the new consoles. If what they're saying is true about the new consoles, there's no load times.
Yeah,
most of their games.
But we also don't know. They haven't said if the next gen versions of Cyberpunk will be out. Yeah, do we? Those don't have a release date, I don't think.
Didn't CD Projekt Red say that they were going to allow, if you
Jump
bought it
forward.
on the old systems, you get it on the new ones for free? So, I mean...
Right, and I'm just assuming that because they've had enough time to understand that these consoles are coming out, that they probably have those almost ready to go.
The other interesting thing in news lately that's really, really... I've been reading about it, and it's kind of scary to me, is the difference between what reviewers think of The Last of Us 2 and what people think of The Last of Us 2. If you look on Metacritic right now, it's at a 95 with all the reviews that it has from actual reviewers. However, if you look at what the people think, it's at like a 3.5.
It got review bombed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a purposeful thing. I don't know if there's such a big discrepancy. Like some games, I think it purposefully, that's why that's there.
Yep, I agree.
Because of stuff matters that happen in the game.
Yep.
Right.
And then we're not going to say it because it's huge spoilers if you haven't played it.
Say that, dare me, I'll do it
don't
right
fucking
now.
do it.
We'll cut it out.
But it's because people feel entitled. People feel entitled that they deserve a story that they exactly want, and that's not going to happen. It's somebody else's work of art. You're reading somebody else's story. You're playing somebody else's game that they made for you to experience.
It's a bunch of dudes who are upset that Ellie doesn't want them, right?
Because she's gay, yeah.
Look, we all want Jack and Daxter to be in Last of Us 2, but we don't always get what we want.
Is that a spoiler? Did you spoil it? Is that where we're going to?
Don't egg him on, please.
Aliens land, and they're Jack and Daxter in Last of Us 2.
Okay, great. Moving on.
Well, thanks for listening to this today, guys.
I'm
You have a note specifically prepared for me?
We talked about this, yes. You told me what monster you were going to pick.
Oh, do I need to go back to my...
Like Dragon Zord.
Did you prepare for me?
That's crazy.
Right.
No, a part that
I
says
don't
Godzilla.
have to.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were actually going to bring one, so I'm just going to go off the cuff with you. I feel like I had to prepare for him. But hey, man.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's cool to be the underdog. So... I think I hurt his feelings. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No,
it brings me a drink
you did not hurt my
shit on it.
You did not hurt my feelings at all. That was more of a like, okay.
Chris doesn't really have feelings.
And so I don't know if people understand what's about to take place. The four of us are complete bullshitters, and we are arguers to our core. We get in arguments with people for fun, so try to keep up with us, and just know that we're people too. But while we're in this room, fucking the gloves are off.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, not knowing much about what you picked, Chris, why don't you kind of just start us off with a synopsis of what creature it is you're bringing to the fight?
Hedorah, also known as the Smog Monster, and also known as Deathla, is a monster from the 1971 film Godzilla vs. Hedorah, titled Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster in the USA. The monster was named for Hedorah, the Japanese word for sludge, vomit, slime, or chemical ooze. Hedorah is a monster from outer space who fed on pollution. He's extreme. Well, actually, it's probably asexual because it reproduces without actually having sex. So.
Is that what its Tinder profile says?
They prefer they or them. The Hedorah are extremely powerful. The single strongest opponent that Godzilla has ever faced.
You're fucking dumb.
I'm sorry. Hedorah is an amazingly powerful kaiju, and the single strongest opponent Godzilla has ever faced.
He's reading from a fucking wiki right now.
Article.
It's Kaiju Wiki.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Who's stronger than...
Space Godzilla, Ghidorah, Monster X.
No.
Mecha Godzilla.
You can't do anything to me, bro. I
King
already
Ghidorah.
looked it up.
Okay, anyway.
Me.
Okay,
King
before we
Ghidorah.
get into that, okay.
Rodan.
My monster I'm bringing is the Dragon Zord from the 1993 smash hit Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or called Super Sentai in
And
Japan.
I'm the low guy on the totem pole here?
I was smart and didn't pick something inside of the Godzilla universe because I wanted to stand a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Because what happens to every other monster in the Godzilla universe, Chris?
We'll get there.
Hey.
So,
Where are we fighting? I don't know.
are we in a glass?
Yeah. Is this going back to the gorilla versus grizzly
Is
bear?
this a big glass cube we're fighting in?
my
Because you're
gosh.
fucked, bro.
Yeah, you ain't got no tools. So the Rita Repulsa, after losing countless battles to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, decided to create her own ranger in order to fight the teenagers with attitude. So that is where we got Tommy, the evil Green Ranger, and the Dragon Zord, which spent 10,000 years submerged at the bottom of an ocean, basically just waiting to beat a motherfucker. So after a couple battles with the Power Rangers, Tommy was swayed to the side of good, where he spent the rest of his time as a Green Ranger fighting for the force of good. Him and the Dragon Zord, which was controlled by his Dragon Dagger, which he played a little tune on, and it summoned the Dragon Zord, which he could actually...
It
was a flute with a blade, which he could then control the Dragon Zord without being inside of it.
Do you remember the tune? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
And you're
And
going
then-
to give him points for that.
The Dragon
Okay,
Zord...
Of course I'm giving him
I'm
points
just
for
checking.
that.
The Dragon Zord sounded straight up like something from like 1950. It was just like...
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
nothing special.
You get points because you're picking a monster that replicates who you are, garbage person.
Thank you.
You get points because you could play the Dragon Zord tune, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Jesse.
Who
And I
you
have
bringing?
to pick the one and only, the king of all fucking monsters, Godzilla.
Never heard of him.
Well, he's a little guy. Actually, he's a giant guy.
He's a little giant guy.
He's a little giant guy, but reptilian in nature, kind of cat-faced, depending on what iteration you're looking at.
Yeah.
But most importantly, can shoot radioactive atomic breath. It's hotter than the sun.
So give the kids at home
a little history of Godzilla. Don't say why you
Sure.
could already beat everybody. Like, we're not into that part yet.
Sure. Godzilla is a giant monster from the ocean that decides to attack civilization because of nuclear weapons. And it is sent to be the ultimate
That is scary.
equalizer for everyone, to punish them for their sins, and all these other dumbass monsters that decide to fight it.
Which iteration of... Are you using Godzilla as a whole, or are you using a certain iteration of Godzilla?
I will be fair,
good question.
and
I have been practicing.
I will
for
be
multiple
fair
forms.
and decide to use primarily the Heisei period of Godzilla, which is the origin starting from about the 80s to the 90s.
You didn't use Millennium Godzilla. That's the one I was practicing for.
I did
Very
not
strong
use
Godzilla.
Millennium, and I think I'll tell you why. So.
Okay. I think a notable thing about Heisei Godzilla is that he is weak to electricity.
He is, but go on. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it a little bit. The Dragon Zord and Green Ranger, because my creature is one and the same, they're the same person, gets their power from something called the Morphing Grid, which is a dimensional traveling, universe spanning energy that links man and machine together.
Yes.
So it allows them to transcend human thought and speed in order to fight together. So I think one thing that, although I don't have size, because I think Heisei Godzilla is around, I think 55 to 80 meters tall.
328 feet is what Godzilla average.
You bringing feet to this?
Average height is what Godzilla.
Okay,
is at.
well, if someone wants to convert that. The Dragon Zord is only 38 meters tall, but it has insane speed.
So we're talking like Godzilla's fighting
It's size
metal-
comparison wise,
Like a
metal
building.
dwarf.
It's Godzilla fighting a building.
right.
a metal dwarf.
And I will say that speed has never been Godzilla's weakness. There have been many monsters that have outmatched it. Space Godzilla could travel from the edge of the galaxy to Earth in a matter of minutes, and that motherfucker still lost to Godzilla.
And it was organic.
And it was organic.
I almost said Mechagodzilla. The Dragon Zord is not organic.
That is true. I will say the power supply you were talking about that kind of is the link between man and machine has been damaged and has been weakened before by a monster I say that's not even close in power scale to Godzilla.
Which monster? What are you talking about?
That would be Turban Shell is his name.
And what did it do?
And it literally broke Dragon Zord to the point that Tommy had to basically retire the Dragon Zord because he just couldn't. It wasn't powerful anymore.
Wait, are you talking about when the Green Ranger's power started to run out after? Yeah, I mean that was not due to one creature. That was from using its power since he became a good guy.
There was one creature that did weaken its power source, and then when Turban Shell got to him at that point, he just decided, like, I'm going to take you out, Dragon Zord. I'm so sorry.
Did he say sorry?
No, he didn't.
Oh, so sorry.
It was probably...
That's very polite enemy. I was just...
Is this a three-way match?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Jump
okay,
in.
so
No,
I'm
just wondering. I'm not trying
tell
to...
us about
I've actually been waiting for the
go ahead.
garbage machine over here to tell him, like...
I can spew, like, sulfuric acid.
Okay.
You know what sulfuric acid does, right?
It probably burns normal stuff.
Dissolves metal.
Okay.
Like, oxidizes it, rust. You ain't gonna be... I don't know what you're gonna do.
Um...
Because I'll just gloop on you, and then you will become part of me.
So it was notarized in Power Rangers in Space by the Red Ranger that Megazords are actually made out of a special metal that is called like Mega Metal, and it is stronger than any known substance ever created.
So I'm about to be strong as fuck when I dissolve that shit and make it my own.
Oh, but you can't dissolve it because any known in its sulfuric acid, you said?
That's one of the things he speaks.
Okay, well, that's known to man, and obviously that's not working on no Megazord or anything.
I think it would, personally.
You think?
Let's talk about... Do you want to talk about some of the... we'll start with Chris. Some of the abilities and powers that your creature has. So I got some stats. So the Dragon Zord, including its tail, is 62 meters long. It is 38 meters high. It weighs 170 tons. And it is known to move at speeds of 140 kilometers per hour. What about you? You got some abilities or...
Well, talked about the atomic breath earlier. The atomic breath is known to melt and burn any man-made metal. What exactly is the Dragon Zord made?
It's not made by man. It's space metal.
It is not made of this Earth.
So it is
alien.
Extraterrestrial.
It's alien, yes.
He can regenerate from almost all injuries.
Yes,
he regenerated from a heart at one point.
Yeah.
He, at least from what I saw, this version of a Godzilla has magnetic properties.
Godzilla, towards the end of this time period, they're like, fuck, we don't want him to be weak to electricity anymore.
Right.
So he literally summons the ability to magnetize himself.
Yes.
And the signal towers around him just stick to his body.
So your electricity weakness earlier, I don't really think applies towards the end of the Heisei Godzilla period.
You say that, but it's not like Godzilla reacts that like immediately. He takes some electrical beating throughout some of those movies, and towards the end creates the ability. So, and I would not say Godzilla is of higher intelligence. He is just kind of a force of nature. So
I would disagree. At least in the fighting sense, he definitely has some intelligence because he grapples people.
He drop kicks people.
He does moves of like a wrestler almost.
Sure.
So there has to be some intelligence. It's not just a swipe and bite kind of mentality.
It's like a dude in a suit almost.
Who likes to watch a little pro wrestling on the weekend. That is true. The Dragon Zord, on the other hand, not only has... I mean, it does have innate primal instincts, but it's also linked to Tommy, who is a superhero.
That's fair.
Superhero?
Yeah, Power Rangers are 100% superheroes.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call Tommy a superhero.
What other
Jason David Frake is the best Power Ranger
He has
ever.
taken a meteorite to the face.
That's a person, not a superhero.
And not even a scratch.
Final Wars, yes, we just watched.
Not even before that, actually.
Okay.
And what killed the dinosaurs off did nothing to Godzilla.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yes. He survived a black hole when he fought Space Godzilla.
Is this all within the time frame of your Godzilla?
This is only the Heisei. Yes. I have a backup plan in case you kill this one.
Okay. So do I.
And at the end of the Heisei period, in his final movie, his atomic breath was supercharged from Destroya, which made it 218 times hotter than the sun.
And what happened at the end of that movie?
He died.
Okay. Chris, go. What did he? Hold on. What did he die of?
Radiation
from his own power.
You're saying Gojira died from his own self.
He went Ultra Instinct and melted.
It was pretty crazy. His face is melting
But
off like near the end.
out of that, his like drippings fell on a baby Godzilla who had now morphed, and he was like, "Bitches, I'm still alive."
Yeah.
Anyway, what are some powers of your garbage creature?
Hedorah's toxic sludge alone was capable of burning Godzilla's armored flesh.
That's not good for you.
Which period though?
Oh, don't. So someone else might want to consort the scrolls.
Hedorah's blood, so if you manage to get to his blood, is able to burn all the skin off Godzilla's hand in the movie was it the 60s?
Yes.
Like
to be fair, there you could probably count on like almost one hand how many times you've actually seen something pierce Godzilla's skin.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that was another part of it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Funny. As a result, Hedorah was the first kaiju to ever visibly penetrate Godzilla's skin.
Like, that's actually a known thing. Okay, cool.
Hedorah's primary form of attack is by squirting chunks of its own acidic body at its opponent.
Ew.
So it's just gonna skeet on you.
What? Like you looked me in my eyes when you said
right
that.
in the windows of your soul. Skeet, skeet, motherfucker. Hedorah is shown to also be able to release massive quantities of sludge and dirt without this affecting his size in any way.
Can I ask how that's a power?
Because he can trap you with it. I'm sorry. As shown in Godzilla vs. Hedorah, where he traps Godzilla in a pit and releases so much sludge in the pit that it nearly covers Godzilla, and he doesn't shrink at all. He also has strong defenses. He is completely immune to Godzilla's atomic breath. Even at its comparatively weak stage, and conventional weapons would merely pass straight through its disgusting body.
So, can I, now that you've said some things...
And Nick, jump in.
Tearing into Hedorah's body proven to be ineffective as well, and has resulted in the flesh on Godzilla's hand dissolving. Only his eyes are known to be affected by his own liquid sludge. And when he bleeds over his own eyes, he has to shut his eyes to prevent it from burning himself. It's almost like,
Jesse's got a smug ass look. What are you trying to ask Chris? What are you trying to hurt his feelings about?
How did that movie end, Chris?
Well, Godzilla couldn't do it himself. Luckily, there was people around. That's why I'm asking where we're fighting. Because if you're gonna be like, oh,
we're meeting
we're meeting in an open field.
No,
bro.
No. We're meeting like in a city. That's where these
you're meeting in Tokyo.
We're meeting in Tokyo. Do the people love Godzilla and they're gonna help him?
No.
Or are they like, dude, I don't want no part of this?
During this time, they want to kill Godzilla.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Godzilla is a bad guy.
You're in trouble.
But the people are almost always ineffective against Godzilla, except for when they made Mechagodzilla.
Right.
The people, not monsters.
In Godzilla vs. Hedorah, the only reason Godzilla won is because the people were like, this is worse than Godzilla. And they got together to make a giant electrode thingy-merbob.
They do that a lot.
They do.
Which
doesn't work against Godzilla.
The fuse was broken. But luckily Godzilla saw that it was broken and used his electrical powers to work. But you got no help now, bro. The people don't want you no more.
Do you have a question yet?
I'm taking it all in.
Is this modern?
Okay.
And honestly, a few of the questions, I'm like, you guys just immediately answer. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Is this modern times?
Yes.
So there's way more pollution than there was in the 60s.
I haven't gotten to detail some of the powers of the Dragon Zord.
Let me get my yawn react ready.
Real quick. That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask. So Hedorah, what he did was basically he absorbed the pollution from the world.
Yes.
How was he created?
He's an alien.
Oh, okay.
And he went through 3 or 4 forms.
Yeah.
I think
his last form's like a flying form.
Well, right cool. Before that, that's his. He turns into like a humanoid garbage person, if you will.
Chris.
And then he can also fly at will at that point at any time.
Do you know how Godzilla followed him in that movie? Have you ever seen
flew with his?
Please tell me that's not where he blows his breath and follows him.
Oh, does he really?
Dude,
yes.
His tail sticks straight out, and he goes.
You know how strong he has to fucking be to blow his body mass up into the air?
Yeah, I'm sure you saw that death battle.
Can you believe
Confirmed Godzilla blows. Just throwing that out.
Some of the powers and abilities of the Dragon Zord. It has a drill tail, which is highly maneuverable and able to drill through creatures that the combined power of the other Megazords together was not able to cut through. It has fingertip missiles, which have the explosive power to destroy small countries. And they have also been known to stun massive monsters and defeat them themselves.
Is that in the show?
I'm referencing the show and the comic book.
Okay, so a lot of this stuff I did not see them destroy countries in the show, obviously.
No, just
Yeah, the Green Ranger's a superhero. He's like, fuck Iran, though.
But seriously, fuck Iran.
it can shoot lasers out of itself, as well as electric energy waves that can run across the ground. It can cause earthquakes. It has super strength, and in the comic, it even used its like fingertip missiles to fly through space.
Well, so far, it sounds delicious.
And it has immense durability. One of its main
what
feats,
ability?
Immense durability. Immense.
I thought you said he's got a minster.
He's
And I
got
was
He
like,
has immense ability.
who hurt you as a child that you say minster instead of
It
monster?
emerged from the bottom of the ocean after 10,000 years
Jeez, like a copycat or something.
without a scratch, any rust, or anything whatsoever on it, and whooped those Rangers' asses.
Yeah, he beat little kids and didn't take a meteorite to the face.
Okay. No, you know what? I'm not going to ask that question because I feel like it could be a trump card
Okay.
for the Dragon Zord, so I'm not going to ask that question.
Are you thinking of the Hulk theory?
Kind of.
A couple feats that the Dragon Zord has done. So even when it thought to be inferior to the more powerful White Tiger Zord that Tommy got afterwards, there was a villain that was able to basically create a evil version of the Dragon Zord. And just so you know, the Dragon Zord is the only original Zord to not be destroyed, and is still somewhere out there.
Because he told it to go into the ocean and not come back.
No, that's not true.
That is true if you watch the show.
Okay,
We don't know where it's at.
It's in
anyway,
the ocean being a little baby.
no, it showed up later. Because if you're talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, this is after he was the White Ranger. So was he still the Green Ranger?
I have no idea.
Okay. So when Tommy was... There's this really funny scene where Tommy's got the White Ranger, and he, like, you know, him and Saba, his talking sword, they, like, I need white tiger
say
power.
it. Oh.
Yeah, I know. White tiger. Tiger power. Yeah.
I hate this
And
guy
so,
already.
like,
Not
the White
the time,
Tiger...
bro.
The White Tiger Zord shows up, and
I like how you mimicked that running, and I immediately remembered how
Yep.
bad
Yeah.
that looked.
Yep.
And Saba's like, I think you're gonna need to transform for this one. Like he immediately's like, you got to do something more. So like first you see Tommy go into like the White Ranger, and then you see the whole fucking thing they have to do to show the Tiger Zord showing up, and then it goes into the transformation scene for it turning into its like robot mode, and then the Dragon Zord just whips it across the tail once, and he immediately gets ejected from it, and it blows up. So even though it was considered to be inferior, it destroyed it in one hit. It also can survive the vacuum of space. And I'm not going to say the next thing yet. Go ahead. What else? Someone else got?
This is spicy. I'm liking it. People are holding trump cards until the end, and I love it. It's great. Keep going.
You have anything else?
I'm having
for
a lot of
your-
fun.
Your great garbage person.
Laser eye
Uh-huh.
can burn through anything.
Yeah.
It says anything. Blood.
What do you mean anything?
I don't know. It says anything. What do you want me to do? You want me to argue anything?
That's vague, though.
Oh, yeah. Super vague. But anything.
Fair enough. Did it penetrate completely through Godzilla in the movie?
Yeah, of course.
No. His acid, whatever.
What about the laser eye? Did it ever hit Godzilla?
I don't remember.
I don't think it did.
Did the laser eye ever go through hit the Earth and then go completely through and show it coming out the other side?
Yeah, they did that.
No, they didn't. It was the 70s. Of course I didn't do that.
So okay, so I guess
So this little planet.
there's probably a difference between like I guess like fully emit all the way through and penetrate. So like penetrate anything, maybe. Like actually like
That sounds like my superpower. I'll penetrate anything. Setting
Yeah,
objects
and-
on fire and burning through anything it strikes.
Yeah, the Dragon Zord can't catch on fire, though.
Yeah, but this can catch it on fire because it says
it can't, though.
anything.
But it can't.
well, I will say
You're
Godzilla's
not
fought,
here to
obviously.
argue his point. You're here to take it all in.
No, I'm starting to like what he's been saying.
Oh, I bet you are.
Against the garbage person.
You can't do nothing.
But I'm liking what the garbage person's doing against Godzilla.
I am impressed because I did not know about this creature and it looks like a sizable opponent. Like it seems like a good matchup for Godzilla.
Oh, at the time it was.
It's just the
Absolutely.
fact that like we know how that movie ends.
Yeah.
Right. We know that in the 60s, the townspeople, after it had killed
The village people.
after it had killed several tens of thousands of people,
At least.
just doing what it did,
At least.
and affected over 3 million. It says it affected over 3 million people post mortem.
Like they needed like A psychiatrist?
Yeah, they were
No,
just like,
it's pollution. It like
Oh, that's
poisoned
fucked.
them.
Yeah.
And cancer. Well,
So we've
Godzilla
got-
probably gave a lot of people cancer too.
We'll talk about that.
we've
but
got more pollution today than we did in ever before.
He may have lost the battle, but he fucking won the war. Jesus.
Jesse, doesn't matter who won. We all have cancer now.
I will say, yes, Godzilla actually does make areas of where he's been radioactive and unlivable for periods of time.
Yes. What do you think is in the vacuum of space other than radiation?
I don't know.
Okay. Does not affect...
Affects Tommy.
No. He doesn't have to be in the Dragon Zord to control it.
That's fair. So Godzilla will just shoot him while he's outside of the Dragon Zord and kill him.
Shoot who?
Tommy.
I'm going to
How?
play the long game. I'm going to send Hedorah, because I can break into as many pieces as I want, and I'm just going to send one of those to go give him cancer.
You've seen how fast Power Rangers travel... You've seen how fast Power Rangers travel across the world, right?
Absolutely.
They travel at the speed of light.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you... Godzilla does not travel at the speed of light.
He does not.
It doesn't happen.
So you don't shoot... So you don't shoot Tommy.
Yeah, but the Power Rangers have been taken out by putties before, so I'm just saying, like,
Not the White
if
Ranger.
he's not paying attention, and he's paying attention to Hodan over here, whatever the fuck his name
Hedorah,
is,
thank
Hedorah,
you.
he's paying attention to fucking Hedorah
I
over
prefer
here,
slime
Who'd
person.
say Kadami or whatever.
Kasami.
What's her
the
name?
Katamari or
Hatsu-
whatever.
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku.
Well,
Then he's like, oh shit, I'm not looking, and then Godzilla just
Let me also say this. So it's been tracked. I do have some internet science here with me,
oh, here
but
we go.
you thought I wasn't going to try to win. So it's been tracked that the Megazords can go at a max combat speed of Mach 2,820.
Same as Space Godzilla, which he has defeated.
By the way,
I'm just saying that
Godzilla has fought creatures that have
organic
had-
creatures
Katamari Damacy.
Yes, he has fought creatures. Well, Mechagodzilla
Yeah.
as well.
This is absorbs
Mechagodzilla
cars,
is
like, they're part
was
me
of
now.
humans though.
What? What do you mean of humans? Mechagodzilla
He was
is
made by humans.
Sure, yeah. Mechagodzilla's ultimate ability, which was the Super Freeze Ray, has the ability to subatomically freeze cells and basically disintegrate them, which is far more powerful than any beam that the Dragon Zord has used. And yes,
go.
it is.
Nope.
And Godzilla's atomic breath has overpowered the Super Freeze Ray.
Which, if we're still keeping track, does not affect me at all. I just want to
clarify
that.
How do you know the Super Freeze Ray doesn't affect you?
You're not Mechagodzilla, you're Godzilla.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't do that. You're right.
So in season 2, episode 23 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show, Alpha says that the Megazord disintegrates or atomizes every creature it
Why
fights,
the fuck am I helping him?
which is just as powerful as anything that Godzilla can do. That's why whenever a creature at the end of the fight with the Megazord, it falls and blows up because all of its atoms are destroyed at the same time.
The Megazord or the Dragon Zord?
A Megazord.
Okay.
And at this point, the Dragon Zord's a Megazord.
Okay. I think you're at a standstill with my atomic breath then, because they're just going to hit each other and...
Okay. Do you have anything else other than your atomic breath, which I do have a counter for?
Which doesn't affect me.
Well, you brought in the comics, which I wasn't expecting. I thought you were going to stick to the show. So that leaves me open to bring in Earth Godzilla, the biggest Godzilla to ever exist. He is 100...
But to be fair, I'm still talking about the same Dragon Zord. You are talking about a different Godzilla.
I'm talking about a Godzilla from the future. Yes.
So that's
Almost
not the
sounded like
same
you said
thing.
Godzilla.
I'm still
Godzilla.
talking about canonically the
okay.
same Dragon Zord.
I got to give that to Dakota.
You were talking
It is
about a
canonically the
separate
same
Godzilla.
exact Dragon Zord that did not change. It is not an alternate timeline Dragon Zord or anything.
Until they retcon it with new comic books.
But we're not talking about that right now.
Well, that's the media in which we're arguing. Chris, say something.
Here's the deal. His dragon breath.
You wish it was Dragon Breath.
No, dragon breath smells bad.
What do you think atomic breath smells like?
I don't know.
Death?
Radiation.
Just just death.
Okay, so as we've said several times, it doesn't affect me. And in the movie we're referencing where, he lost. Where Hedorah lost.
Yeah.
The only reason he lost is because of humans helped Godzilla.
So why? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So what you're saying is, since the Dragon Zord has a human helping him, he could beat your monster.
They're not ganging up on me. They're too busy fighting each other and I'm just sludging
You guys are all three fighting each other right now.
great. But You have to be able to power this generator that's only made by people.
What are you talking about?
In the movie, they create this thing that basically dries him out. The breath doesn't affect me. I don't know how this works.
Does he have to breathe?
No. He's literally pollution.
Yeah, he just comes from space.
And we keep calling him he. I prefer they or them because they reproduce asexually. They can also split. They can also split, divide, become several more.
I mean, mine's a robot. It doesn't have a gender either.
I feel as though, like, even if you beat Hedorah, as long as a part of him lives, he's gonna go to the pollution that's floating around the ocean.
I'm pretty sure Power Rangers have fought pollution before. No,
but
I'm not gonna. I'm just pulling that out of the air. But something for the durability of the Dragon Zord, which I have not at any point talked about any of its other forms other than its base form. Tommy himself does have the ability to summon the other Zords to create the Dragon Zord battle mode, which is where it forms and the others come in, which he can do at any point. He doesn't even need the consent of the other Rangers to do that.
They're like, oh, we're going here now.
Or
it's just the pieces.
They're
not in there.
No, that would, no.
Crushed.
If you ever... you two might remember, I don't expect you to remember, but Lord Zed had his own Zord called Serpentera. Mm-hmm. And it was the absolute most powerful Zord ever created up to that point. Like, it was stronger than Dragon Zord. Mm-hmm. And in the comic, Serpentera shoots a planet burst beam, which was also in the show, so they didn't just make up that attack for the show. But it shoots a planet burst beam designed to completely destroy a planet, and it shot multiple different Zords, and the only one to survive was the Dragon Zord. So it survived something designed to blow up a planet.
It's a pretty strong midget.
And I also have something else for the atomic breath, if need be. But
are we talking about? Are we talking about the atomic breath?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that doesn't affect me.
So why would your version of Godzilla on his own defeat, like, without the people would still be there? There's nothing we can do. People would be there. So what would Godzilla do differently, or do you think the same outcome would happen against Hedon or whatever your shit's called? Hedorah.
Why is there no respect for Hedorah?
It sounds too much like King Ghidorah to me.
He's a trash person?
Mm-mm.
They.
Oh.
They is Bims? Bims is a trash person.
Bims is a trash person. Right, that dry him out, correct?
Something like that.
I think there are electrodes everywhere now?
I don't want to give you help, okay?
Okay.
You knew your own
A power plant could attract him, and Godzilla would be like, oh, fucking sweet, I'm going to wait till he goes to one of those. Because Godzilla doesn't die from the acid burning his hand. He will regrow his hand back.
Is this the Godzilla that also has a second brain?
Yeah, Godzilla has a second brain in his spine, by the way.
Were you going to bring that up only if you needed to? Or?
No, it doesn't really do anything.
Inside of his spine?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he legitimately... So his main weaknesses are destroying his heart or his brain, the two things he's been known to regenerate from. Yeah. Which, if you disintegrate an entire being, those...
You have to get past his atomic breath first.
Which doesn't
affect I'm fine, by the way.
I'm talking to him. What do you mean it doesn't affect him? Of course it would.
Well, it could... well...
I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why.
Do sparks not fly off when the Dragon Zord gets hit and shot by laser beams?
Absolutely, sparks do fly off.
And is it not
damage
at all?
It is shown that damage has touched the Megazord.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're saying that the atomic breath from Godzilla could not damage that?
Yes, and I will tell you why. Because like I said off air, Godzilla is designed to have a compelling story, and the confines of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is designed for kids where limits do not matter.
Well, you're an adult. So anyway,
we're all sitting here fighting about monsters.
And by the way, in the canon it says they had to build gigantic electrodes.
And this is common day.
So how big were the electrodes compared to the monsters in the movie?
What's an electrode?
It's a thing that produces electricity.
It's like a power plant.
Those are electrodes on the end of, like, if you drive past a power plant.
That would probably make Godzilla stronger too. He's been known to absorb electricity. I didn't know which version of Godzilla he was going to use. I'm sorry.
Man. Look, all I'm saying is...
I thought he was going to use Millennium.
All right, let me ask this. Do any of you have any sort of source of, like, how strong they are when it comes to, like, lifting or hitting or pounds per pressure?
It's on the screw. It's on the death battle because there is a death battle of the Megazord or of the Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla, and the Dragonzord is known to punch a creature that weighs 50,000 tons, 40 meters in the air with a single punch.
Whereas Godzilla, from the same channel on Screw Attack's Death Battle, has been shown to throw over 100,000 tons into the air and slam it back down on the ground with no problem whatsoever.
Right, and I mean Godzilla is twice the size.
He is twice the size. Sense. It makes sense. Absolutely. Do you remember who lost that battle between the Dragonzord and Mechagodzilla?
Yes, the Dragonzord did off of someone's opinion, which is also what we're doing.
yeah.
And if you remember at the end of that, it also said that they said that it could have been either of them that won, and it came to a toss-up.
They also said Kirby could beat Majin Buu.
Which is true.
And they also said that Toph
could
beat... I think they said Toph could beat Gaara.
Which is also true.
So I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, if you want to call me over here... Let's hear what Chris has to say over here.
Ghidorah's bigger than Godzilla was kind of throwing him around. Like, the only reason he lost is because humanity came to save Godzilla, and they're not coming this time. And there's more pollution.
Why aren't they? They're coming all the time.
So I feel like we're at a standstill, at least for Chris's point of like what people would do. So I say we should leave that up to Nick as to what he thinks.
Well, Nick's
the humans
gonna give
would do.
Godzilla the heads up because he likes Godzilla more.
You don't know that.
I think you underestimate his love for the Dragonzord.
Well, I'm not. I'm saying I'm not gonna win because he doesn't like me personally.
Wow.
And I feel like no matter how of a compelling argument, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm serious.
We are using specific moments in the canon, and you're saying it can penetrate anything.
That's what it says
on a Wikipedia article.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we couldn't use the Kaiju wiki.
You can't. No, you 100% can. But like. What else you got?
Blood that will burn through anything.
He's immune.
Laser eyes.
He's immune.
That can penetrate any metal.
He's immune.
Any metal, be it space metal or not. And, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, the atomic breath doesn't affect me.
Is that true?
We did hear that. Yes, that is fucking true.
So then, like, how do you beat him?
You dry him out. And then
how does Godzilla beat him?
He dries him out and then shoots him with his atomic breath.
How does Godzilla dry him out?
He doesn't.
Without people,
right?
You got nothing.
Okay. So this is monster versus monster.
We gotta fight.
Not monster versus monster versus people.
So if you're using your ability and it strikes Hedorah here, that to me seems like an electrode that would dry you out, and Godzilla just has to shoot his little beam at you and you're dead.
All I have to do is jump on top of him and make him a part of me.
Oh, I don't like that.
I will just open my giant, gaping trash butthole and just absorb him. Now I got a Dragonzord.
But why don't I just electrocute you?
Yeah. Why would I just both of you and you're dead?
Yeah, but you can't be on one team or the other. We got to figure out how this all works.
If you jump on Godzilla, he could just attract electricity to him and literally dry you out.
I don't think so, because he was going to lose until the people helped him. Godzilla was gonna lose until humans.
In that one movie. I'm
not talking about that Godzilla.
We're also talking about Heisei.
Which one?
Trowa, which is the first one.
Oh, so that's not even.
That's not even Heisei Godzilla.
So okay, so what's the difference though? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, we're talking about Heisei Godzilla, right? You're talking about one movie, and like we were talking about in the later version of Heisei Godzilla, he's able to actually manipulate like electricity and shit like that, so he could dry you out
easily.
I don't agree.
If I was talking about that Godzilla, I'd be all on your side.
Yeah,
I would agree.
You would not be on my side.
Well, I'd say you asked me anyway. But
okay, I've got plenty more.
Okay, I get that, but we're getting to that point.
Hold on.
I need you all to pull out your trump cards.
I have multiple trump cards, so here's the first one. Do you remember what temperature Godzilla went that he overheated and started melting?
No, I don't remember that.
It was 1200 Celsius.
You didn't write that down?
Okay. No. Godzilla was at 1200 Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is about 2100 Fahrenheit. Do you remember?
Internally, yes.
Internally, right. So the Megazord, the Megazords are all made out of the Megazord metal. They're all made out of the same metal.
Unknown metal that has no structured properties.
Oh, it's weird how he gets a trump card, and that's fine.
So, yours is, there's no people. So hold on.
You got nothing!
So I'm using internet science again.
Here we go.
Gotta love internet science.
when the original Megazord, when it would call upon the sword that has been confirmed that stays in outer space to be summoned by the Megazord. Mm-hmm. Okay. Based off of the speed at which it travels
through the atmosphere.
I'm not getting into number battles.
It travels 22,413 miles an hour, which is 11% light speed, which means that it has to be coming in at a temperature of 10,086,187 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equal to 16 megatons, which is equal to 16 nukes. So a Megazord has to be able to absorb that energy, otherwise Angel Grove would be decimated when the sword arrived.
The whole planet would be fucking decimated if it arrived.
So even if you don't like that, here is one that does not use internet
science.
Signs.
You're good. You're done.
You don't get to choose.
How about this? How about the sword flies through me?
Disintegrates.
Which doesn't do shit to me. It's like, whatever. Oh, that hurt. And then, because it's got my blood on it, it hits Godzilla.
Boys, this was never going to be fair for you for one very particular reason.
Godzilla burns his blood.
Okay.
It burns through his skin.
Okay.
And the Zord through both of his hearts. Does he have 2 hearts? Is it 2 brains?
2 brains, 1 heart. No gimmick.
What does he need to survive? Which one?
Godzilla? It's good writing?
Well, I mean, yeah. Have you ever seen Son of Godzilla?
No.
Cinematic masterpiece.
No.
So, boys, it was never going to be fair for you for one particular reason that is in the TV show, and there's no internet science involved whatsoever. There's an episode where the Rangers are fighting a enemy that is able to repel their own energy back at them, and it actually burns out their weapons, including the sword that is summoned from the sky. So the Black Ranger has the idea, why don't we just replicate what they're doing and repel its own energy back at it? So even if...
It sounds like a children's show.
It is, with no limits. So even if the sword part of how much it could absorb doesn't matter, I have gauged that, particularly at your point, the Godzilla you're using, its atomic fire breath to be around 500,000 Celsius. So, if your Godzilla shot its atomic breath at the Dragon Zord, it would be able to repel your atomic breath back at you at 500,000 degrees Celsius, which is well above 2100 Celsius, causing it to melt itself. And if you use your sulfuric acid against me, it would also be able to replicate it and shoot that energy back at you. And it is how they defeat that creature in that episode and win the day.
At the end of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, they show, yet there is another.
Oh, yeah, pollution's always happening.
Yeah, you can't kill, because the pollution's always happening until we as a people evolve and stop polluting.
And there's been shown to be more than one Godzilla.
There's more.
So if you kill that Godzilla, chances are there will be a stronger Godzilla to follow.
And the Dragon Zord is always around.
Oh, until Earth Godzilla shows up. But that's another episode.
All you do when you create these heroes is make stronger enemies. That's all that happens. It's like every time...
We are eternal.
Every time something...
Not in Power Rangers, though.
Something comes out that can beat it.
Not in Power Rangers, though, because they make the White Tiger Zord, which they legitly said was stronger, and then the Dragon Zord showed up and still fucking beat the good guy.
I don't know.
Power Rangers loves the Dragon Zord. That's all I have to say. They made it unstoppable.
That's true.
Nick?
All right. Okay, so... what I got from the arguments is a couple of people did a lot more research than one other person who can read really well, and I appreciate that. But saying that, Chris made a very, very, very good point about something. You will never be able to stop pollution.
Can't stop,
ever.
Won't stop.
And even if, say you destroyed the planet, pollution still exists in space, in other planets, and other areas of the cosmos. I believe with...
Are you including... Okay, but hold on. Before you guys stop... No, hold on. It took an alien's influence on the pollution. So if the alien's destroyed, then what?
It also took an alien's influence to create the Dragon Zord.
Yes, but the Dragon Zord is defeated. The Dragon Zord is not defeated.
Okay.
Finish your thought. Let me win.
Okay. I do believe that... What's your thing's name? Hedorah?
Hedorah. Thank you for saying it right.
I do believe that Hedorah would survive the longest out of everyone, but initially the monster would be defeated as it stand. He would surpass them when it comes to just life in general, or it would be one of those things where the Dragon Zord was put down in another 10,000 years and this thing still roamed the earth. Both of yours are really compelling because Godzilla being as strong as he is, if he got one good grapple and throw on the Dragon Zord, that could spell the doom for the Dragon Zord, possibly. But saying that, your research is pretty in-depth.
The Dragon Zord was also thrown through a mountain by the Megazord, and it did not take any damage. It took about the force of like 300 tons of TNT, and it did not take any damage.
Can I say I'm a self-described nerd, but God, I hate nerds sometimes.
But what really sold it for me was the sword. That, like, I was just like, Jesus Christ, you're using, like, legit real world. You said internet sites, but that's real world science, dude.
Yes.
If something coming through the atmosphere actually will travel that fast and create energy.
At the size of which it is.
Yes, at the size of which it is. That is legit science. Fuck. I seriously came into this. I came into this thinking there's no way I'm going to pick anybody besides Godzilla.
And I felt that as well, and I was the underdog.
You didn't think about the trash person.
But Dakota, you changed my mind.
Say it. Say it.
Dragon Sword wins.
And yet, there is another.
I will say you picked the perfect matchup for Godzilla because one of the only monsters to defeat Godzilla is Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
And Dragon Zord is literally the Power Rangers version of Mechagodzilla. And I just chose Godzilla because I love him. But he has lost to many monsters. He probably would have lost to Hedorah if not for the humans.
Yeah.
He only beat Mechagodzilla because he teamed up with 2 other monsters.
Yep.
He is honestly not always the strongest creature, but he is the most resilient. And if he did lose to the Dragon Zord, I do believe he would come back and find a way to at least match his strength and come back stronger. But you picked the perfect matchup for him. I had to champion Godzilla.
Of course. Sure. And I didn't think that I just threw the Dragon Zord out there because of my love of Power Rangers and because it, that was a lot of our first experience at Kaijus was Power Rangers.
Absolutely.
And so I thought that'd be something. I thought that would be something cool. And once I started actually looking at the numbers and seeing that and correct me if I'm wrong, but the creature that's given Godzilla the most trouble is Mechagodzilla. And then to see that the Dragon Zord is almost solely based off of Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
He's a fusion between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla. That's why when he's summoned, he comes out the exact way Godzilla comes out of the water.
Yep.
So it was just, it's kind of like, we talked about, but it's kind of like Dragon Ball Super has no limits as far as what their characters can do. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has no limits as to what their characters can do. So once I actually started looking at the numbers, I realized it was very silly.
So I say that, and you see the Dragon Zord standing over Godzilla with his foot on top of him and the sword like just stuck through Godzilla, and then it kind of pans down into the earth, and you see this little thing squiggling away, slowly getting bigger, and it's Garbage Man over here.
It's not the creature. It's actually Chris. It's like,
fuck this shit, I'm out.
It's Hedorah. I do think that Godzilla is a creature that adapts, and that given the time and given enough repeated, there would be a point where the Dragon Zord, over enough iterations, would probably at least meet its match as far as they would have to at least take each other out at that point, and then Godzilla would probably still just come back again after. So
Yep.
So the time has come and the battle is won. The Dragon Sword defeats both Godzilla and Hedorah. But thank you very much for listening to the Digital Bath Podcast. Give it a like, give it a listen. We are signing out.